Okay, so I'm just gonna go over some of the sounds that I'm getting throughout my whole board and setup. So what I actually have going on here is just a Eric Johnson Fender Stratocaster, and through this I go into a Polytune Mini, and then from there I just go into this trusty old Goodrich passive volume pedal, no power required, which is pretty cool. From there it splits out, goes straight into this little dual, which is an AB box just for amp switching. It's a pretty versatile unit if you want to just kind of like use an acoustic guitar or just like a separate rig, you know, just anything you really think of. These guys really make great products. And I have that splitting out the Marshall and the two Fenders that I'm running in stereo. And going for the Fender side, I start off with the Deluxe Memory Man, but right under it, it's this little kind of AB box that kind of loops it in and out. And I actually have that going in first. And from there, I go into the tone press, which is a compressor. And I like using that for getting some more of the funk stuff. So I'll kind of explain some of that right now. So with just the tone press, it sounds like this. So with it off, it drops in volume. I like using that also as a boost, but just a lot clearer. And bringing it back in, it evens out a lot of the frequencies and just kind of focuses it a bit more and actually brings out some of the harmonics. With it off. So that's basically the tone press. And from that compressor, I go into an EP PRE, which is a Clinch FX, basically not so much a boost, but a preamp that kind of brings up some of the highs in a way, so I can add a little more volume if I feel the need to. And also kind of fattens up the bright tone a little bit, just gives me more of a lead feel. So turning that back off. And I like blending that with the tone press. Sometimes I feel it doesn't bring up enough of the highs and just kind of evens out more harmonics. And then from the EP PRE, I go to the Strymon El Capistan, which is a tape simulator. And I really like how it works with Fender amps. So if you're looking for a tape simulator, I feel something along the lines of an El Capistan or maybe even a Bell Epoch. I mean, there's a lot more, as of lately, I feel just a lot of tape pedals that do a really good job. But for the Strymon, I really love what it does and just the functionality, just like tweakability too. So I have that on the Fender side of the channel, or side of the pedal board, and engaging that, I really just have one basic setting that I like doing, and it's just kind of just straightforward. So just tweaking it, just whatever works with whatever my playing style is. So that's basically it. I'd hate to say it's a one-trick pony, but the way I use it, it's pretty much that. So from there, I go into my TC Electronics stereo chorus, which also does flanging and pitch modulation, and you can blend it. It's a really cool pedal. It's really inspired, and as far as the clean channel, well, mostly the pedal board as well, but a lot of the clean tones is really Eric Johnson inspired, just very 80s lush, clean, Fendery chorus tones. But I like to think too that I can get as much versatility as I can as far as the styles and just basically the type of music that I like playing associated with this gear. And here's the dry sound, and engaging the chorus pedal. So I like using that pretty much straightforward too. And along the lines of an Eric Johnson clean tone, I like to think some Smiths, maybe Ryan Adams, his album Ryan Adams, you know, a lot of the chorus tones that comes out from there. So those are basically the essential tones that I like kind of going after, and they work really well with these Fender amps here. And obviously I blend them with everything else I have. So with the tone press, you'll hear. So brings it out a little bit more, sounds a bit warmer. Let's try it out with the Memory Man to get some more of that kind of quicker, I guess, analog delay type tone. So that's with the Memory Man, and I can do the same thing with the El Capistan and on and off, but that's essentially my sound. And it is a stereo pedal, the TC Electronic Chorus, and I have two cables going out into each Fender amp. The top one being a twin reverb. It's a 65 reissue. On this side I have like a standard Jensen C12, I think it is, a ceramic style speaker, which normally comes with that. And the other side I actually placed in a JBL D120F with an aluminum dome just to add more of a brighter tone. It's a lot with like Eric Johnson, Dickie Betts, those type of guys that they use in their Fender or Marshall amps. And it's a really great sounding speaker, so just figured blend the two. That's my top twin reverb, and in the bottom I have a Silverface 70, which basically just has the Fender ceramic. They're probably Jensen's too, I'm not really sure, but just whatever came in the 70s. And I have them running fairly, I guess, more top end on the lower one than the bottom one, since that speaker really adds a lot of highs anyway. And I just kind of blend in the reverbs just to kind of get more of a certain effect, whatever I feel is more tasteful. And yeah, those run both at the same time. And from there, that's basically it for the clean tone. For the my lead or rhythm tone, or just more of the blues, more rock, more distorted tones, I switch over from the Lila, and it goes into this Disaster Area DPC4, I think it's what it's called. It's a programmable pedal controller, and what it allows me to do is just store certain presets. If I like certain combinations with pedals, I'll use those as just a kind of a favorite, I guess, so I don't have to do so much tap dancing or just switching on and off. So it gives me more freedom to kind of jump around or just, focus on my actual playing. So the way I have it set up right now is when I click this off, it's basically a dry sound. That's the dry signal. And when I engage the pedal, let's say, what I have stored is there's a rack delay up here, and then also the tube screamer with the Fuzzface, which are in separate loops, but with the programming, it allows me to use those two at the same time, and also have this engaged with my RJM Music Technologies Mini Amp Gizmo, which basically acts as a foot switch, and it actually gets plugged into this pedal controller, which is just anything that runs in MIDI, and all my amp switching and also my pedal switching also gets done all in the same time, so it's really convenient. So that's pretty much how I like having everything instead of just switching amps and all that. It can be a pain. So from there, back to just a straight, clean Marshall sound. And if I want to kick in the fuzz with the tube screamer, and I could also turn off the tube screamer if I want it off, and that's just the Fuzzface without the tube screamer, and then kicking it back on. So that's basically that combo mixed in. And I also have a different setting with a different channel. I'm running in the clean channel right now. And switching to the overdrive, I have a tube driver and also a wah pedal, the wah pedal being first. And normally I add a Echoplex, but for the time being, I have this Eventide time factor that's last in the chain that goes into the amp. But really the sounds that I'm going for is an Eric Johnson Cliffs of Dover lead tone, or close to it as possible as I can get. And it sounds like this. So. A lot of delay going on, but so at this point, that's really just as far as my tones go. I mean, from all the stuff that I've been doing, from the Fuzzface and tube screamer stack into a separate program with the tube driver and a wah, it goes back into the disaster area as a MIDI controller and out into the Supermoon, which is a reverb. And from there, for the time being, it goes out into this Eventide time factor, which is a multi-purpose delay pedal, which is awesome. I recommend getting one, or a Timeline, or just whatever else is out there, man. It's really great stuff. And then from there, it just goes into a triple super lead 100 Marshall. It's basically just I like to think of it as a 2-in-1, super lead 68, 69, plexi type tone alongside a JTM, or maybe just a cleaner Fender. It's just something that breaks up more alongside of the Bassman on the clean channel, so I can do more like Jimi Hendrix or more the bluesier stuff, so I'm not like just oversaturating everything. And here, let me just show you how that sounds. So that's basically the clean channel. And if I want to switch to the distortion channel, so that's basically just the overdrive channel of the TSL, and I can just kind of bring in out pedals, whatever I want, whatever I feel works. And yeah, I mean, those are basically the two sounds, the 2 amp sounds that I basically go for with my setup, and you know, just adding the reverb whenever I want. And then what I like doing too, when I'm not in the program section, which I think is with this little LED on, I just hold this button down, turns off, and I could actually manually bring in and out whatever I want, so I can pick and choose. Say if I wanted to come up with a new combination, I can go ahead and do that. And so clicking off the tube driver, since it's in line with the wah pedal also, I just click this on, and I get the wah signal path with the Supermoon, so I get more of this type of So basically that type of sound, I really like that. It's really big. The Supermoon reacts really well with the wah. Gets a lot of those filtering that kind of goes on. And say I want to add, let's say the Fuzzface with that, I can go ahead and do that. All I have to do is just engage whatever line the Fuzzface is in its own and bypass. It's really Hendrix. So that's the Fuzzface with the Supermoon, and kicking on the wah. Some slight sounds start coming on and off, just the 2 pedals, the wah and the Fuzzface reacting, but just kind of maintaining that, just kind of taming that down. It can still sound really great. So I can just bypass that, and then if I just want the tube screamer on, Gets really hairy really quick, but I mean, sounds pretty cool to me, especially with the Supermoon. So I'd highly recommend a Supermoon if you're wanting to get just a straightforward reverb pedal. I mean, there's tons of other pedals that do the same thing, but I just gravitated towards that. But I mean, that's basically my setup. And if you're curious about the cab, it's just a 4x12 with the Weber greenback copies, the 25 watt British Series 1225. So it's basically just a greenback. And that's about it, man. 3 amps that run 2 sounds. One is mono, and then these 2 are stereo. I use a couple of different guitars, and yeah, just trying different things out. And that's basically what I kind of go for as far as sound. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm glad you stuck around long enough to hear this bullshit. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you guys.